Alright, so welcome to tutorial video number 5. Last video we went over push-pulling things. You've gone over all of the movement tools. You understand how to click once to start drawing shapes, drawing rectangles, drawing circles, drawing lines. And hopefully you understand the whole concept of the axis lines, which really serve to allow you to know where you are in the space of this three-dimensional world of Sketchup. So now we need to get used to and understand how you actually select, deselect, delete things, and go through that process. So I'm going to begin by just drawing a box. So click to start my drawing, drag, pull it up, P for push-pull tool, and I don't like that, so I'll try it one more time. So here's my box. Now your select tool, as you probably already know this, is your space bar. When you click your space bar, you have this regular arrow. And with the arrow, you can click on different parts of an object. I can select just the face, and I know that that's selected with the dotted lines. Or I can select individual lines. And when I select those individual lines, they're highlighted in blue. I can actually even do some Microsoft Word advanced stuff. If you remember to select multiple pictures in Microsoft Word, it works the same. If I want to select multiple lines, I can hold my control key. And when I do that, you'll see that there's a plus next to my arrow, which indicates that I'm adding on to what's already selected. So I can select multiple lines. Now, if I double click on a face, what that does is it selects everything that that face is connected to. If I double click on a line, again, it's going to do this similar thing. It's going to select everything that's connected to that line. Now, we select by just clicking, but what happens when we begin deleting? Deleting things is best by just pressing the delete key on your keyboard. So if I delete this line, what do you think will happen? Take a second to just think about it. Don't do it, but just think. Let's try it out. I'm going to press the delete key. It's kind of weird. But if you think logically about it, it makes sense. So I'll Control Z. When I delete that line, it essentially is deleting everything that that line is connected to. Much like if I were to double click on that line and press delete. That would do the same thing. Now let's delete just a face. So I'm going to click this face and press delete. Now I have an open box, but the lines around it did not delete. If I press Control Z, select space, and double click when I delete, then some weird things start to happen. Because notice, when I double click, I have all of the lines, and these side lines are connected to the corresponding face over here. So when I in fact delete, it deletes all of those faces. Now, let's say that I have an object that's a little more complex. And I'm going fairly quickly on this one, so make sure you pause and you practice so that you fully understand this process. I'm going to draw a circle on the front of this face, and I want to delete the middle of that circle. Now, if you'll notice that it basically deleted that face of the circle. This is not a hollow this is a hollow object essentially. I could have used my push-pull tool like before, and it looks like then it is a solid object. So that's a weird thing to notice. Well, let's say that I have this object and I decide later that I don't want this this rectangle, this cube that I attached to this other object. I want to get rid of all of this. If I double click on a face and I press delete, it doesn't get rid of everything. Some weird things happen again. If you want to select an entire object, and I'll draw another one, to select the entire object, it's actually a triple click. 2, 3. And you'll see that everything on that object is highlighted in blue. It's completely selected. And I can press delete and delete that whole thing. So take a second and practice that. Triple click on just a standalone object. 1, 2, 3, delete. Well, let's go back to this other design that I have. And if I want to get rid of this whole part of the structure, let's try this out with the triple clicking. I want to triple click on this shape, and hopefully I can get rid of it. 1, 2, 3. This is what happens. Anything that this shape is connected to basically becomes all one object. So even though I drew this separately, like I'll do here, even though I'm adding this on, as soon as I add that on, it becomes part of the entire object. Now, as we move forward, this will become extremely problematic because you're going to be adding objects onto other objects regularly. In the next video, we will learn how to make sure that you can separate individual objects so that you can then go back and manipulate just one of them.